The fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. It's that simple. Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby. Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, The Sports Fix on social media, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
This is Greg Pruitt, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
On the air, locked and loaded. It's Friday, baby. The end of the week. Friday. I don't know if you got a job. I don't know if you got stuff to do, but it's Friday, baby, and we're going to get through it, get you into the weekend, rocking and rolling. There's a whole lot on slate this weekend, a whole lot on slate today, and I'm glad you joined us once again, hopefully, as you do each and every weekday at noon. Perhaps today's your first opportunity to tune us in live here on the Sports Fix Radio Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am your host, the conductor, the coordinator, whatever you want to put it, of all the madness that happens here on the Sports Fix, the big daddy on the microphone. Some call me Jerry Myers, J-Rock, whichever you want to call me. I'm happy you call me anything at all. I'm glad you're here each and every day at noon. Thank you so much. Welcome in, as I said, to the Sports Fix across the Sports Fix Radio Network, which means maybe you're listening to us live on TuneIn and TuneIn's digital apps and radio apps worldwide. One of the most popular ways to listen to live radio around the world. Maybe you're listening to us live on our own home base, the website, thesportsfix.net. Perhaps you're tuning in on Spreaker and Spreaker's website and digital apps, and glad they got everything fixed up. We had some hiccups earlier this week, and welcome to those of you guys as well on Mixler and on Mixler.com, the chat room over there. By the way, you guys hear me talk about the chat room all the time. That's the one I'm referring to. It's an ancillary site for the show, but it's got the double bonus of not only being a place that you can listen to the show, but it also has an interactive chat room there that a lot of people use to jump in, drop some comments. And if you're listening to us on the website, by the way, if you look at a lot of people minimize the screen and listen to the show while they do other things, but you could actually interact with that chat room right there on the website itself, up on the player. There's a little box for you to comment. But anyways, and that's mixlr.com for those of you interested. And welcome into those of you listening on digital delay, thousands around the world each day, enjoying the show on iHeartRadio, the world's largest internet radio provider. Many of you downloading us and subscribing on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, and CarPlay, and SoundCloud, and all the different places that you listen, subscribe, download, however you get the feeds of the show. We thank you guys so much, because I say it all the time. Without you, there's no cliche. There is no us. I'm just a guy sitting here talking to a microphone, and it's reverberating back to me. But with you, we are the Sports Fix universe, baby. Thank you guys for being with us and be a part of the show. Today, much like Thursdays, Fridays, very busy shows. Small window to open up the phones at the beginning. Larger window at the end of the show. 216-539-7535. I say it all the time. I've got the microphone, but you are the voice and the pulse of the Sports Fix. Interact with us today. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Again, 216-539-7535. Phones open for maybe the next 10 minutes. Then we've got guest after guest. You know, it's Friday. We roll to it. I'll open them back up at the end. We've got Jonathan Knight, the Sportswriter extraordinaire, coming up 10 minutes from now. He's going to join us in the next segment. Can't wait to talk to him. Of course, I've got a question I want to pose to him, something Mike Brandenberry and I were talking Indians. We had a great chat yesterday. Love it. Tribe fans, I'm telling you, we have a couple of dedicated times a week where we get into some deeper Indians conversations, Tuesdays and Thursdays, some of those deeper ones. Mike Brandenberry from didthetribewinlastnight.com with us every Thursday, and not just when he's on the air, but I said it yesterday, you guys, especially just about to hit the winter, the off season, the deep freeze here. Stay in touch with didthetribewinlastnight.com. But some questions I want to talk to JK, see where he's at with the Browns coming out of the bye, heading into Tennessee this weekend. As you've got two teams looking to do something, each one looking at the other one as an opportunity to get better and get healthy and get well, as they like to say. So we'll talk to Jonathan Knight. Can't wait to have him on today for our Friday conversation. Then spitting into hour two, baby, Browns preview show. Jeff Gorman with the Titans scouting report. Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. Every week he joins us with the scouting report of the Browns' opponent that week. This week, of course, it's the Tennessee Titans. And by the way, Jake Locker, it looks like definitely going to be a go as the quarterback there. For those of you that there's a lot of ambiguity whether he was going to go this week or whether it was going to be Charlie Whitehurst. So we'll talk to Jeff Gorman. We'll get the scouting report from the Titans, his looks at the game. Ryan Ruiz from Dog Pound Nation joins us today. That's right, a new endeavor for Ryan. I had to make sure that I didn't get into the old introduction. Ryan's going to be with us. We'll talk a little bit about the new affiliation he's got, and he brings us his 3 Dawg Bones to Browns victory like he does each and every Friday here. He'll tell you the 3 things that if the Browns do it, they win the game this week, as we said, against the Titans. All of that. We'll talk a little bit more about the ESPN Cleveland issue coming up. We've got a lot of things. Buckeyes on tap this weekend. Baseball playoffs going on. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I'm not going to lie. I took much satisfaction. Now, this was different. I didn't really take satisfaction in watching Pittsburgh and what happened with them. I just didn't feel any sympathy for them. By the way, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I feel so bad now because the name is just absolutely, completely slipping me, and I feel bad because I like to name drop people. But he was talking yesterday. And I don't mean name drop people in the big way. I mean the everyday guy that I get to talk to each and every day with the show. And but anyways, he was from the Pittsburgh area. And by the way, we replaced a current Cleveland sports show with ours now as his afternoon listening. But anyways, he brought up how salty the city of Pittsburgh was with the Pirates, and I said, well, I'll just wait because wait to the Brown. Well, I'm not even going to put the cart before the horse, but they'll be a little saltier in a week and a half. I think you guys know what I'm referring to. But anyways, we had an interesting conversation, and always good when new listeners jump on board and get to conversate. And I tell you guys all the time, real quick, hit me up 24/7 when you're listening to the show. And let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know when you like something. Let me know when you think I'm a dunderhead. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, hit me up and let me know, because really I love that. Not number one, I just love the discourse and the discussion with you guys, but it also lets me know, what you guys like, what you don't like, which way to keep moving things with the show. So make sure you guys stay interactive with me, not just for talking about things on the air with the show, but let me know what you guys think about the show. But yeah, getting back to the Major League Baseball playoffs, unlike not taking pleasure in the pain of Pittsburgh and the Pirates fans, I took much pleasure in the O's last night. How about that 8-run explosion? I'll tell you what, they went to town in the 8th inning. Baltimore, the Orioles, set a postseason team record last night. 12 runs in that 12-3 victory over Detroit. Max Scherzer, obviously, he did okay, but not completely Scherzer-esque, but their opportunity on the table still. I mean, it was a 4-3 game heading into the 8th inning when put the gas on the fire. But much like much of you, I'm sure, here in Cleveland, I would hope to see the O's sweep this thing. I mean, I'll tell you what, especially by Miguel Cabrera quickly. And you guys know I like the guy. I like the guy as a baseball player. I know he's public enemy number one because I'm telling you, my Twitter last night during the game, some of you guys probably follow some of the same people around town, but man, with some of those scenarios with Miggy Cabrera, like, man, that wouldn't have worked out that way for the Indians. The Indians would have walked 2 guys to get to him, and then he would have hit the 3-run home run, et cetera, and so forth. But I like his talent for baseball, and that drives some Indians fans get mad at me for that. Like, man, how could you like that guy? I don't, but I like him. If he didn't play for the Tigers, I'd like him a whole lot more. But anyways, because I think greatness. I really do appreciate it in any sport at any level, and he's one of the guys that's at a high level above many people doing what they do. But anyways, you guys heard the story that he was giving up the postseason bonus. They made a big deal about it yesterday. It was in headlines all over, and all he wanted was the ring. All he was in it for was the ring. And then all of a sudden that changed, and he said, "No, I want my money. Now the story's out that that's not necessarily true, and that he said he was merely joking with his teammate. Not that it matters. Listen, the Cat signed a $300 million contract, so I know it's not easy for me to say, but it's easy for him to say $307,000 is chump change to Miguel Cabrera. But he was joking with teammates. Said, "Of course I want my money." So I got a little kick out of that. But hopefully they won't be collecting any more money than that, because they won't be going any further. And I'll tell you, that would be a kick in the tail for the Tigers. They spend all that money and do not get the job done at the end of the day. We'll see what happens. It's only one game into the series here, but the Orioles jump out on top with the quick lead here now with that 12-3 victory. Game 2 coming up over the weekend. And how about Kansas City? Listen, I'm going to go back on myself right now probably, because the first 2 playoff games have kind of sucked me in. So Kansas City, I was going to be curmudgeonly. I told you guys, I said, I'm not doing it. Dan Wismar's like, hey, man, if the Indians don't make it, I think I'm going to root for the Royals, man, because they're small market, and it's been, 2 lifetimes since they've been to the playoffs and all that. And I said, not me, man. Not me, man. I don't want anybody to win. I want this to be the first year nobody wins the World Series. And I'm just kidding. I'm not drinking that much haterade. But I didn't think I would get into the Royals. Obviously, I was pretty much on the side of whoever can beat the Tigers and whatever, man. Over on the National League side, I like Washington a lot, and I think they're going to come through the thing there. Them and the Dodgers, one or the other, but that's all big money teams. I'm starting to get hooked on the Royals. I mean, they did it the other night with Oakland, and the way they came back and then into extra innings and just kept fighting back in spite of themselves. Here they go again. I mean, this is David Goliath round 1, because if they advance, they're going to just have David Goliath round 2. It's almost unfair when you think about it. Like, if you look at it in David versus Goliath terms, like, David didn't have to fight Goliath twice. Like, he didn't have to slay Goliath and then I see you, Jeff Gorman. I know there was a year where nobody won the World Series. Good catch on that. But it's like David has to fight Goliath, and then when he slays him with the slingshot, instead of the hero's welcome, he turns around and has another Goliath in front of him. That's the Royals' climb here to get through the postseason. But right now they jump out early with the 11th inning, extra innings again, and all the talk about Duffy getting switched to the bullpen and all that. He ends up being the winning pitcher in Game 1. Maybe it was just in the cards that he was supposed to be the winning pitcher in Game 1. Ned Yost. I'll tell you what, Ned Yost, maybe the way people are on him for his decisions, he may be the first coach to win the World Series and get fired in the same year. I'm telling you, because you look around, especially social media, and people just cannot decide whether he's a genius or whether he's the village idiot. And maybe some people think it's a little bit of both. I think he's gutsy and just, hey, you know what? When guys make gutsy decisions and they make those calls and then it comes through, they're a genius. And when it doesn't, they are an idiot. Like, that's the way the public perception always is. It's just a matter of which way the ball bounces. You know, we talk about that all the time, but we'll see. But the things get started tonight. We got the NLDSs going on tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that going on. I want to talk some Indian. We'll pick up. We're talking a little baseball here. Let's keep it in the air before we switch. You know, we're going to get hardcore football here in a little bit. Let's talk some Tribe. I've got some questions for Jonathan Knight. I'm going to get his thoughts on the end of the Tribe season, playoffs so far. Let's see if he's on the Royals train as well here. I got to tell you, man, like I wasn't going to get with them. I was just like, whatever. And I don't really have a rooting interest, but they do this one or two more times, I may have to say I've been sucked in as well. How about you? Kansas City does it again. 3-2. They beat the Angels in 11. Let's talk a little baseball and some Browns and Titans.